G'day guys, it's Jezza here from Bushbound. I've recently bought this Intrepid Geo 2.5 rooftop tent and it's an amazing tent. I love it so much, but there is one problem with it. It doesn't have any internal lighting. So today, I'm gonna fix that. So yes, as I mentioned, I just bought this Intrepid Geo 2.5 rooftop tent. It's a great tent, but it doesn't have any internal lighting or like outlets in it at all, which is kind of a standard these days for tents, but this one just doesn't have it, which is, you know, not ideal, but it's all right for me because I love doing 12-volt stuff. So I'm pretty keen to jump in there and see what I can do. So yeah, the plan is I'll have a couple of strip lights in there. I'll have a couple of USB outlets, cigarette outlet, maybe a voltmeter display, a few little things like that to you know, make it a bit more cozy. So we'll jump inside and get a rough idea of what my plan is and yeah, see what we can do. Inside the tent now, you can see there aren't any lights at all, as I mentioned before, and it's kind of tricky to install lights because this top bit is like a fabric, you can see there. You can't really mount lights to it very easily. But there is, you can probably see this pole structure here. It comes up and around the top. So I think I'm gonna have to mount my lights to that. And I'll have two strip lights, I think. I'll have one on this bit here and one on this bit here. And they'll both shine out towards me kind of and hopefully give a half decent spread of light. So the next thing I've got to work out is where I can mount a few outlets and a switch for the lights to turn them on and off. So there's a few possible spots. This is going to be my main door I've worked out, so keeping that in mind, I was thinking I'll put it here somewhere. So I've got this little template. That won't be exactly the size, but it's pretty close. I was thinking if I bunch this mattress out of the way, I'd kind of squish that in there. That was the first plan, so I could easily jump in and turn the light on straight away. But this bar, when you close the tent up, it actually folds down and it hits that, so I can't put it there. Option number two was putting it just like there, just across the corner. But the reason I can't really do that is because it's in the way of this door. Not really in the way, but you know, it's going to be annoying possibly. And also if you're sleeping with your head at this end, so you can look out of the skylights, you know, you have like a glow from the outlets and stuff, it might be annoying having that right next to your head as you're trying to sleep. So the only other option I can really think of is having it on this side of the door, down in there like that. So you can unzip the door, climb in, hit the light switch, you know, you'll have your voltmeter display, a couple of outlets, all in there, and that'll be there right next to the door, ready to go. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll have a little box here with a few outlets and a light switch, and then the lights will be up on this bar across here, shining into the tent. So then it came down to working out what lights I want inside the tent, and you know, what I can use for a little power box to run the lights off with a switch and also a few outlets. I came across a few options as I was going over those few things, so I'll show you them now. Rightio, so first up, for the actual power box, I found this website online called Campervan Builders, and they pretty much make a wide variety of switches, switch panels, accessories, you know, 12-volt accessories, stuff like that. So I went online and bought this little kit off them, and all it is, there they are. It's pretty much just this 4-gang panel, just 4 holes in it, and then with it comes 4 accessories which come in the kit. Just mount in there, pretty simple, little lock nut on the back, you unscrew them, and then get the mounting plate, and that just slots straight in and then screw it back up. So yeah, you get how that works, and you can use any configuration that way, you know, put them wherever you want. They also come with little spade terminals, which is pretty cool. For the lights, I found this Australian company based in WA. It's called Offroad Living. So why did I choose this company for the lights? Well, the main reason is bugs. If you look at all the mainstream camping light brands, such as, you know, Darchi, Hardcore, Kick-Ass, they all sell their strip lights now with like 3 modes, 2 white modes and then an amber mode. And that amber mode is designed to be, you know, lower on the light spectrum, and therefore bugs can't see it as easily. And it's meant to, you know, kind of keep them away at night, because there's nothing worse than having bugs hanging around your campsite at night, attracted to those bright white lights. And in my experience, it does work. I use amber lights on my setup on the Cruiser currently, and it does work. Keeps the bugs away a bit better than the white lights. But they aren't perfect. Bugs are still attracted to them though. So, Offroad Living, they make lights that are white as well as red. Now, if you look at a color spectrum chart on humans compared to bugs, humans can see a wide range of colors and bugs see a smaller range. And at the lower end of the scale, where the bugs range cuts out, is your reds and your ambers. Ambers being a bit higher than red, so it's still visible to them, but red is where their vision actually cuts out and stops. They cannot see anything shorter than that. So I'm hoping, because these lights are red, they'll be right at the end of the spectrum for bugs, and it'll keep them away, hopefully 100%, but we'll just see how it works. Yeah, keen to try these out and see if the red light actually does stop bugs better than the amber light, which it will in theory, but we'll find out. Rightio, so I've got our two components that we're going to be wiring up. For cable, I've got a heap of 10 gauge, twin sheathed cable, just a red and a black cord, just normal, 12 volt car stuff. Got a couple of Anderson plugs. I'm going to have an Anderson plug on the bottom of the rooftop tent and one on the top of the car, so that I can unplug it and take the tent off, and all the wiring will go with it. Got a few glands, got a bit of smaller cables for inside the little control box, so yeah, everything's pretty well all sorted. I've got a wiring diagram as well I did up, just in case you guys are interested and want to see how it's kind of all working together. You can clearly see the power coming in, positive and negative from the Anderson plug coming into the little control box, how it's all wired inside that, and then also the two cables, the red and the black, positive and negative for the two strip lights getting out of the top of the box and up to the lights. So anyways, that's the plan, all just basic 12 volt stuff, nothing too crazy. So I think I'll do that now. Rightio, so all the work is complete. The tent is on top of the car. It's all set up how it is going to be used out when I'm camping. It was a pretty easy-ish kind of job. I'll show you on this side first. So this is where the cable comes out from the bottom of the tent, out of that little pass-through, plugs into an Anderson plug here. This other side runs along here, snakes underneath this roof rack, comes inside the car through that little rubber seal, goes in behind the panel work into my 12 volt setup behind here. I've got it all running off this switch. So when I turn this switch on, it gives power up to the tent. And that's just like a safety reassurance thing, so I can turn the whole tent off. I know nothing up there is gonna be draining my battery when I don't want it to. So turn that on, and then we can come up into the tent, and bang, right there, we see our little power box. So you've got your voltage display, obviously, you've got your 12 volt cigarette outlet right there, you've got your USBs, and also your light switch. Flick that, and voila. Two lights come on up there, and they can both be changed to have the red. So it should be super nice at night. Yeah. Nice and cozy, and with those red lights it should keep all the bugs away. I cannot wait to try it out when I'm out camping. So there you go, that is how I've installed my 12 volt lighting and power inside the Intrepid Geo 2.5 rooftop tent. Now yes, it is a bit of a pain, the tent doesn't come with it, but I don't mind. It was actually a pretty fun install, and yeah, totally fine with it. So that's all I've got for you. I will be doing a few camping trips very soon, so I can tell you exactly how the lights go and how the red works with the bug, and if it actually keeps them away or not. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. But otherwise, I'll sign off and I'll see you guys in a future video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.